TR here with Gypsyfae Creations, and I am still on my fandom kick here. I am happy to get back into the groove of it. And so today I wanted to do a Harry Potter themed soap. Long time coming, I just couldn't really decide on the style or the design that I wanted to go with. But I think I've kind of figured out one of many different ways that you can do this soap. So I've put a little titanium dioxide into my lye, water, and sodium lactate solution. I'm doing a double batch of this because it's going to be that cool. And we're going to give this a whirl. Alright, that looks good. So coming up with a design for this, I didn't know if I wanted to revert back to the bath bomb I used to make. Before I was making soap, I was doing bath bombs. And I had like one of those sorting hat type bath bombs where once it's dissolved in your bath water, it turned colors. So I'm like, I don't know, sorting hat soap? Maybe not. So I'm just going to go with an overall design on this one. Just kind of a typical Harry Potter theme with a little bit of the Buttery vibe going on. So in this bucket I have some honey blush, and in this bucket I've got some shimmer gold, and in this main bucket I'm going to put in some firefly. So we're going with like golds and yellows, like butterbeer. Now that is a word that you have to be careful with if you are in the business of naming things after fandoms like Harry Potter. You got to be careful what words you use. And I'll explain in a minute. I'm just going to get these mixed up. So back to the naming of this soap. It cannot contain the word butterbeer. I've learned that lesson. I got a little slap on the hand for using that. It is trademark, and you got to be careful with a lot of different words because they trademark everything nowadays. Butterbeer. You cannot use that word. So I'm going to come up with a different name for this soap. That has nothing to do with butterbeer. I don't know, Wizard's Drink or something, or along those lines. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. You just gotta be careful nowadays of words that you use. The scent that I'm using is called Caramel Butterscotch Bourbon. Got that from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and I thought it had kind of a butterbeer feel to it, like the alcoholic version of butterbeer in the book. I just imagine it would smell something like that. And it has lots of vanillin in it. It's some crazy high percentage that I'm a little scared about. I don't know if this is something I will remake and use the scent. It's kind of however this turns out will tell the future. If it turns this whole entire soap an ugly brown, we're going to have to think of something else. And then I want to educate you guys or talk to you a little about skin safety with fragrance. I've had a few concerns about the amount of oil being put into soap. And if you make soap, you know that there are regulations about how much of a scent that you can add to a soap. And if you go and buy a fragrance from a good website, they will give you those guidelines or the reference. And so for example, this fragrance here, and just a little side note, I did add some vanilla color stabilizer to this. But for this fragrance here, you can use 8.4% in soap. Now if you make other products like lotions and, I don't know, liquid soap or whatever else you can possibly think of, there are different percentages. But this one you can use 8.4%, which is a lot. Like around 5 I was thinking would be a normal. So 8.4%. Okay, I have 64 ounces of oil. Just the oil, not the water, not the lye, nothing else. If you do the math, you'll find that's 5.38. That's how much I can use in my batter. And the bottle is a 4 ounce. So I'm not even anywhere near the strength that you could get into the soap. I am kind of in the middle on this. I'm just using that 4 ounce. So plenty of room to work with. Sorry, I'm going to do that a lot. So I'm within those guidelines, way within those guidelines, so it's not going to hurt anything. But if you ever want to figure out how to do the calculation, you just multiply the percentage that comes with the fragrance into the amount of oils that you are using. And that's how much of fragrance you can put in your soap. That's all. Just want to throw that out there. Not everyone knows how it works. Alright, let's just continue mixing this. It smells really good. It is a very caramel scent. And I'm really hoping that the vanilla color stabilizer is good enough to not turn this soap brown, because it was like the brownest brown you can get in a soap when you don't use any vanilla color stabilizer. So fingers crossed. Alright, I'm digging these colors. Let's get the pouring, shall we? Alright, I'm trying out this whole counter angle thing again because I really do like the light and the height that I get from the counter. But I'm also bumping into the camera constantly, so I'm gonna give it another try and see how many times I have to apologize for bumping into the camera. Okay, I'm just doing a drop swirl on this. And I'm doing 2 loaves of this because I have a feeling it's going to sell out. Kind of like the Totoro soap that I made, that's gone. Didn't take very long, and then I get a lot of requests to make it again. And that was a lot of work. That was so much work that I'm like, I'm not ready to do that yet. I think eventually I'll remake it, but not in the too near future. What was that? Alright. So if anyone has ever had butterbeer, what do you think of it? What was your opinion on it? If you've ever gone to Universal Studios Harry Potter World, they do make butterbeer there, like butterbeer flavored everything. I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't know if it was just the flavor in general or their idea of butterbeer was just not my thing. I could have just let it be. I didn't care for it. No need to drink that again. I do like all the other crazy things down there. So if you're in the US, there are 2 Harry Potter Wizarding Worlds available to go to. There's one in California that's fairly new, and then there's the one in Florida that is the original, which I've gone to maybe 3 times, I want to say. I love it that much. I can't wait to get back down there again. It's just so much fun. This is really starting to thicken up on me. Scrape this out. So they started with 1 park and then they made it even bigger, and there are now 2 parks that you can go to. And I like them both. I've gone to the one park 3 times, and I've gone to the other park 2 times, because I first originally went when they opened. And it is so cool, you guys. If you've read any of the Harry Potter books or seen any of the movies, it's just like being in the movie or the book. It is so cool. And I've read all of the books. I can't pick a favorite. I like them all. They've been around for most of my childhood. I think the first one came out in, I don't know, 96. Does that sound right? I was probably 10 years old. And so I kind of grew up with these books. I had to read one and then, well, I read the second one because when they came out I got one for Christmas and it was the second book and not the first. I can't complain. They're all good, regardless that I started from the second book. Every year thereafter, I pre-ordered and had to wait year after year for the next one to come out. Unlike nowadays, you can just go buy the whole set and read them all. I had to wait in anticipation, which was, it was still fun because I'd read one book and then you could reread it if you want, because I'm that kind of person. They are really awesome books, and they're great for all ages. They really are. I collect a lot of Harry Potter things. I'm going to give this a little whack first. I don't know what I'm doing. See, this is the awkward part of this camera angle. Let's pour with this hand. I might get the hanger swirl for this because it really did thicken up quite a lot. Let's just keep going here and see what happens. But I don't want that design in the soap. I wasn't going for the hanger swirl look in this. But I just might do it. So I'm just going to continue scraping out these bowls. If I ever got to go to London, I'd want to see Harry Potter there on stage. And they had like a Harry Potter museum there, and I want to go do that. I think that would be just as fun as going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter here in the US. One day. It really is a great book. No matter what age you are, you can love it. At least that's what I think. I don't care that I'm 30 some years old. I still love the books and the movies. They're great. If you're a fan, you can relate. Especially because I grew up reading them and I kind of have the same feeling about them now as an adult. I think I'm going to get the hanger swirl. Alright, just going to do a quick run through with this hanger swirl. Just put little swirlies in it. Nothing fancy, nothing intricate. Just want to mix those colors up a little bit. Alright, and now I'm going to go get the icing together. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on top. Ta-da! They look like little crinkly french fries right now, but they are lightning bolts. And I'm going to put each one of those on the sides, and then I'm going to put one of these guys on top. These are supposed to be like Sorcerer's Stones. I guess I could go even as far as making a loaf of soap for each book, but I'm not that crazy. So I guess this was kind of themed toward the first book, I guess, with the Sorcerer's Stone. Alright, let me get that icing. Alright, I'm just going to start with icing one of these loaves for you guys. I think this is a Wilton 1A tip. And I just left the icing white, kind of like the frothy, foamy part of Butterbeer. So while I was getting the icing together, I went out to go check the mail, and I'm wearing gloves and an apron and a long sleeve shirt and slippers. It's 80 degrees out. I think my neighbors are like, she's officially gone off her rocker. But I mean, hey, they know I'm a soap maker. They know it comes out of this house. That is my soapy attire. I wake up, I soap. I woke up really late and I soaped. And since I'm doing 2 loaves of this, I kind of set myself up for disappointment. I wanted to do a restock of the space soap. I had a lot of fun making that. And I've only got a couple bars left as of this video. So I was like, I'll wake up and I'll make 3 loaves of soap. Well, dum me got all the oils together, not realizing I only have 2 soap molds. Like, that's all I have. There is no 3rd loaf of soap today, Tiara. There's just 2. So it'll have to sit there till tomorrow, which is just fine because it'll be Sunday and I can still soap on Sundays. But boy, where was my brain at? I was a little upset. Just a little, but it's worth it. Making 2 loaves of this is so going to be worth it, I think, anyway. But I have a New People magazine. I like to read People magazine. I love my gossip. And my favorite part of it is the passages, or like the announcements, where they talk about all the famous people that got married or had babies or are expecting. I just overfilled this piping bag a little too much. Now I'm making a mess everywhere. And I read the coolest thing. In the wedding announcements, it says Matthew Lewis, 28, best known for playing Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter films, married Angela Jones in Italy. The couple met in 2016 at a celebration at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando, where she worked. How awesome is that? That is too sweet. Ugh. See, this is why I love reading these things. Just stuff like that. I really did make a mess in this. I'm getting this everywhere. Alright. Moving on. I think that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Speaking of only having 2 molds, eventually I want to buy larger molds, or a larger mold. So instead of doing 2 loaves that make 18 bars, I think I need a large mold that makes like 17 in one sitting. That would be nice. I'll get there one day. Okay, so I'm done with this guy. Go ahead and put the embeds on. Alright, so the glitter I'm putting on here is just a little snowflake sparkle on here. Just a little bit of sparkle. It's nothing like, this is a very fine, shimmery sparkle. And then I'm going to try very, very hard to line up each one of these lightning bolts on each side of this bar. This is why I'm only icing 1 first, just to see how it plays out, and then I can redesign the other bar if need be. These are so tiny. And again, they remind me of those little crinkle cut french fries, or like some kind of noodle, I don't know. But I found this mold at, I want to say, Michael's craft store. And it had another mold. It's like a chocolate mold. It had another design on it. that kind of created an idea for another fandom type soap. And I'm not going to share that with you right now. I'm going to leave it a surprise. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. My soaping ideas are just everywhere right now. I have so many ideas lined up that by the time I get to them and by the time you guys see them, I have moved on and created a whole new list. Alright, and then on each one of these, it's going to be a Sorcerer's Stone. And when you guys use this soap, if you purchase it, you get like a little souvenir. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I thought it was a good idea at the time. I don't know if I like them sitting up or on their sides. Like that. These came from the dollar store. It's a good deal. Alright, so that is the Harry Potter soap right there. And I'm going to let this sit for a day or two. And I'll come back. It kind of looks like a little cherry on top. Anyway, I'll come back and I'll cut this once it's ready to operate. And then the final touch, the really, really big touch that I have to finalize this soap is I ordered a stamp from somewhere in England off an Etsy shop, and I'll leave that down below. They had so many different ones, but the one I picked out I think it's going to work really well for this soap. So stay tuned after the cutting. Alright, so I'm going to cut one of these loaves for you guys. You might hear the TV in the background because Bradley is watching The Matrix. And he really wanted me to watch it with him, but I told him I already know all the words to it and I don't feel like watching it again. I'd rather cut soap. Alright, let's see what this looks like on the inside. These colors are really sticking pretty true. Get an up close look. They're not turning any funky brown colors. So if it stays that way. Look at that one. This soap did heat up a little bit. And there's the titanium dioxide in here. So there are some little teeny tiny glycerin rivers in here, which is fine. The other end. I don't know, that shimmery gold didn't really show up that well. I don't know if I want to use that again. It just kind of looks like the other Firefly yellow. This also reminds me of like the Phoenix in it. I don't know, I get a Phoenix feel out of there, like the wings, the Phoenix coming out of the fire. I'm a dork, I don't know, I'm making things up at this point. I swear I see it. You can kind of see the glycerin rivers in it. Not that big of a deal. Got way too much going on this counter right now. I'm running out of room. So I know there are a lot of quizzes out there of which Harry Potter house do you belong in. And I'm not really particular to any house. Not like, you know, Harry gets up there, puts the hat on, and he's like, Gryffindor, please. Please not Slytherin. I don't really have a preference to any house. I'm kind of good with either, but I did take a couple quizzes. They always tell me I'm Hufflepuff. Sure. Hufflepuff's a good one. Okay. So trim up this last bar, but I'm gonna get the stamp, the special stamp that I bought for the soap, and show you guys how that looks. I really think my husband's going deaf. I mean, I know he is hard of hearing, and I don't know if that's a... I'm talking so bad about him right now, and he's gonna be the one editing this video. He has selective hearing, I think. Anyway, I've got this gold mica and this awesome stamp, and I already tried it once just to make sure I knew what was I doing. So I sprayed it with a little bit of the rubbing alcohol, and I'm just kind of dipping it into the powder to get it all covered. And then I'm going to place it on here and press down without the meat tenderizer I used before. Alright, let me do another one and I'll show you. So when I was getting this together, I got a phone call from a coworker who said she had baby raccoons in her yard and she needed help because she didn't know what to do with them. And I think now that I've rescued a baby squirrel, everyone thinks I'm like some animal whisperer. Like Tiara rescues animals. I would. I could quit my job and do that. Alright, so this is what it looks like when I stamp it. How awesome is that? I love it. Yay. So I'll do a couple more for ya. Maybe one more. And I have to figure out when these guys are going to be ready for sale, so I can figure out when to tell you. You can grab them. I have to look at a calendar. So usually I let my soaps sit for about 3 to 4 weeks. So you can probably count on these on, let's say, June 30th. Let's just do, oh, I'm sorry guys. You can't even see what's going on. I'm thinking June 30th they're going to be on sale in the Etsy shop, so be sure to check there. Look, little spritz, little dip, and then you just center it. This mica is just going everywhere. It's like a shimmering pixie dust all over the kitchen right now. There we go. I love it. Love it so much. And I'll just keep doing the rest of these.
So, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in any of the soaps that you see me make on this channel, check out my Etsy shop. I list them on there, so whatever's available you guys can purchase. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more fun soap making videos. You guys can leave me any questions or comments down below. I promise I will get back to you. And until next time guys, smell you later.